I'm back, another day, another project. Hopefully we showed you the shelves that we made. Like I said, I think I mentioned in my last video, tripod broke, so I didn't know how much filming I got of me actually making everything. But they're made, and they've stored everything really well, and everything's where it's supposed to be now. So, not a project, I lost count. On to another project. I'm on the dinghy, and I got the upper motor, and I got this lifting strap a while ago that is pretty sturdy and everything, but it doesn't have like a single lifting point, so to tie like a rope on and lift it up or winch it up. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to try and come up with something so I can get a single lifting point. Alright, so I've got the strap on there. You can see it on both sides. Just a Davis motor harness, lifting harness. But as you can see, it has a handle up here, which is nice, but there's no like center lifting point just to tie on something. I don't want it to come up all crooked and everything, so I think I'm going to try and make just a little thing to go between here and there so that you can lift it up just by this little spot right here or something. Put one of these rings in there, just something easier to tie to or shackle to. So that's what I'm going to do. And this is what I ended up with. Now, it kind of looks still temporary for now. I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to keep this, but it does work. All I did was just tie line from there to there, go into the loop, and I can lift it from here, and it works. We have lifted it from here up onto the deck here. So, yeah, anyway, that's that. And another day in another project. So last night I cleaned up the dinghy and put it out on deck because it's going to rain here soon, and I wanted to get it cleaned up. But anyway, obviously I got the motor off of it yesterday, which was what I was working on. Today is steering day. Get to put the steering back together. All right, I apologize for the mess in the background. It's been a week, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, so I'm starting to get the steering back together, and this is it kind of back together. I got the new braking material on there, which works. I tested that, and I'm putting this back together, and this was back here, which is great and everything, except it means that you could pull this whole thing out easy, and it would just come out, and I don't like that because you just pull the steering out, especially if you have the autopilot hooked up. That's not good. So this is as far back as this goes. I don't know if you can see, there's a little lip. Oh, get a little focus there. Little lip right there. It only goes to that lip. And so it leaves this space, which it's better. I can tighten it there, and it's better than it was, absolutely. But I'm going to make some little rubber spacers to go in there. I've already made one. Looks like this. Very crude. You know, I made it with a knife, but it doesn't have to do anything. It just has to stop it from going back. So I got it back together. I jerry-rigged those spacers like I showed you in the last video, or this last clip. What the fuck I did. But, you know, it's not pretty, but it doesn't need to be pretty. It just needs to work, and it does work, that's for sure. So I got that, and the rest of the steering, it can technically, the whole pedestal can go back together. But the thing is if you look down, excuse the mess, where those wireways are, hi Nims.
Hi, bud.
That's not how wires should go through a deck, because water just can go right in there. And if we're in stormy seas or there's waves coming over, I don't want that. Even though the bilge pump can probably keep up with it, I don't want that. So I got new clamshell deck fittings for wire passers. It's going to be watertight. So that's what I'm going to work on next. I got one in, and it actually looks really good. Let me show you. So you can see that is the new pass-through. That is what was there, just a hole with a wire going through it. Now I have an actual pass-through that's watertight, to an extent at least. Won't let a large amounts of water in. And yeah, it's nice. And I have room left over to put like a radar cable or anything else I need to put up here, like a light. So there's plenty of room for that, and I'll have plenty of room on the other side too. So I'll have 2 ways to get wires up here, which is nice. So now I just gotta do that side. And now they are actually watertight to a certain extent. At least for being rained on, which is what they should be. So now I can finally put this whole pedestal back together, and maybe I can start cleaning up back here so it doesn't look like like a bomb went off back here all the time. So that will be exciting to get that taken care of. And yeah, anyway, we're here. It's supposed to rain. When it's supposed to rain? Friday? Today's Wednesday. So I'm putting electronics back together, so I either have to get it done tomorrow or wait till next week. And next week we have Mariah's parents coming, which I'm super excited for. I think we're gonna take them over to Paulsbo and do some stuff. And at some point between now and then, I have to clean out our cars and get everything kind of sorted. And also, Mariah's niece is gonna come stay with us on the boat while they're here, which means she's gonna take my bed. So I gotta make sure that's all ready to go for her as well. So there's a lot of stuff to get ready between now and then. But anyway, one project done off the list. It's just one after another. We're slowly getting there. So I got the pedestal back together, all the electronics and everything. All the wires are ran. I'm gonna get a cover to put on them. Well, I don't know what they're called, but like a plastic sheathing to protect the wires a little bit. But in either case, it's all there, and it'll all look pretty here eventually, but it's all watertight again. And I've been excited to do this because this is a little embarrassing. So I used to work for a company called Westmar, which was in marine electronics, but I never worked with NEMA data a lot because it was all sonar. I was a sonar tech. And having this boat for all these years, I never had AIS in it, but then I never really knew anything about AIS. When you talk about baud rate and all that stuff and what needs to be set up what way in order for it to talk to each other, never knew. AIS alarm, sorry. Never knew. So now I've been working with a McKay Marine for a while, who works on a lot of marine electronics, and I've become, I wouldn't say more AIS targets, sorry. I wouldn't say an expert, but like I know my stuff now. And let me show you what I found. For those of you who don't know anything about NEMA data, it's pretty simple, but so this is my electronic setup. This came with the boat. I didn't put this on. I do plan on replacing this with a Garmin unit before we leave, but we'll see what happens. But anyway, so as you can see, it has AIS targets now. That's what those little triangles are. Those are other vessels. And yeah, so AIS targets. So let's talk about this for a little bit. Let's go back to home. So when you talk about AIS, I mean, obviously you can get it over NEMA 2000, which is a plug and play. You plug in NEMA 2000, as long as you set it as a source on your device, it's pretty easy. But when it comes to 0183, you kind of have to know a little bit. Now, here's the main thing, especially with AIS. AIS only comes in over the baud rate 38400. Now, baud rate basically means how fast it talks, right? And it needs to talk that fast because there can be a lot of AIS targets, and it needs to get all that information into the unit quickly. So when I went to, if I know it's coming in over 0183, here, let me see if I can get there for you, because I'm dumb. And I go NEMA setup, and NEMA inputs, they were both set to 4800, both of them. And I never had AIS, and never knew anything was wrong with that. Well, today I turned it to 38400, and then I made sure that my radio that receives AIS was set to 38400, and lo and behold, I have AIS targets. That has been hooked up the entire time, and I haven't figured it out. And it took me just like 30 seconds to be like, oh, that's not set up right. And now that I know a thing or two, so that's fun. But this is going to get replaced with Raymarine like I talked about. And yeah, so got some fun stuff to do. Now that I've got the electronics going, I have a NEMA 2000 to CTOC converter. Now CTOC is NEMA 2000 PGN from Raymarine, but there were a couple different types. There's CTOC, CTOC NG, I think there's one other one, I can't remember what it's called. And it's all pretty similar. The big thing is the difference is in the PGNs. Now, PGN is like the title of a NEMA sentence in a NEMA 2000 network. So the titles are different, so sometimes they don't get recognized, and that's when you need a special converter. Now the one I got is just a NEMA 2000 to CTOC cable converter, and I don't really know if it will work, but I have a NEMA 2000 unit here. I'm going to try and plug it in and see what happens, because it'd be nice to like set up a water tank monitor on this thing, and that would be really nice. I know I can do it on the Garmin. I know the Garmin is NEMA 2000, just normal NEMA 2000, and this one is CTOC, so I'm hoping it will work. If not the biggest deal, because we're gonna get a Garmin anyway, and I know it'll work with that. But anyway, so many AIS. Well, I'm probably gonna get AIS because my AIS danger zone is set to 0.2 miles, and here in the marina, there's lots of boats within 0.2 miles. So that's why that keeps going off. But yeah, so there we are. Fun stuff. Now I haven't hooked up my AIS transponder yet, which transmit my AIS MMSI number and vessel name. But that's also because I was going to get a Garmin radar. And I was going to mount it up on the mizzen, but I was also going to mount the AIS antenna up on the mizzen. So why do that twice when I could just do it all at the same time? So that's why I've been holding off on doing that. Plus, if I run a radar cable, it's going to have to be run down. The cables are going to have to run, so I'm going to have to take apart everything I just put together yesterday. But that's okay. Anyway, I'm going to plug that thing in, the converter cable, and just see what happens and see. Hopefully maybe someone learned something from this. If anyone has any questions on it, I can answer something. Like I said, I'm not a total expert, but I've seen a few things, so yeah. I feel kind of dumb for not figuring it out sooner, but you live and you learn.
I'm gonna be making something really exciting today. Well, something that I have been wanting to make for a long time, but I couldn't make it because we lived in a apartment. So I'm going to be attempting to make canna butter. We've always kind of wanted to try and make our own edibles, and we live in Seattle, so it is legal here. So yeah, I found a couple recipes. I think I'm gonna follow a Bon Appetit recipe. I don't know. Yeah, we're just gonna see how this goes. You have to like simmer it with the butter for like 4 hours, and the longer that you soak it and simmer it together, the more potent it's gonna be. So yeah, we went and picked up a big ounce, and we're going to be using ghee for this. So yeah, let's get started with late last night after we finished the canna butter, but here's what it looks like. Hopefully you can see. I thought somebody was standing right in front of me. I thought somebody was standing right there. Okay, so that's kind of what it looks like. It's very green. We've already used some of it to make brownies, and now I'm about to put some in our dinner. So, yeah. But anyways, I think that's where I'm going to end off this video. If you enjoyed, please hit that like and subscribe. And yeah, next week my parents come, so that's gonna be a whole fun thing to watch and film. So yeah, anyways, see you then. Bye.